For just as the body is one, and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but of many. If the foot would say, because I'm not a hand, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. And if the ear would say, because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body, that would not make it any less a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the hearing be? If the whole body were hearing, where would the sense of smell be? But as it is, God arranged the members in the body, each one of them as he chose. If all were a single member, where would the body be? As it is, there are many members, yet one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I have no need of you, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. On the contrary, the members of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable. And those members of the body that we think less honorable, we clothe with greater honor. And our less respectable members are treated with greater respect, whereas our more respectable members do not need this. But God has so arranged the body, giving the greater honor to the inferior member, that there may be no dissension within the body, but the members may have the same care for one another. If one member suffers, all suffer together with it. If one member is honored, all rejoice together with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and individually members of it. And God has appointed in the church first apostles, second prophets, third teachers, then deeds of power, then gifts of healing, forms of assistance, forms of leadership, various kinds of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Do all work miracles? Do all possess gifts of healing? Do all speak in tongues? Do all interpret? But strive for the greater gifts, and I will show you a still more excellent way. Let us pray. Faithful God, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight. O God, our rock, and our Redeemer. Amen. If you are fans of artists or performers of a certain age, January has not been a good month. We had news of several deaths last week, and then in addition to those, as if the universe was not satisfied, this past week we heard about the death of Glenn Frey, one of the founding members of the Eagles. And one of my first thoughts upon hearing the news was thinking back to the very first time that I heard the song Hotel California. I was relatively young. I was over at a friend's house, and he said, "You have to hear this." And he had a vinyl copy of the album, Hotel California. He put it on, he started playing the song, and he said, "Just listen. Just listen to the words." So we sat there and we listened to the song all the way through, and then after it was over, he said, "Okay, what do you think it means?" And so we sat there, we kind of went back and forth, we went round and round about the possibility of what the singer was going through or what he was trying to convey. And if I remember correctly, I think what we came up with collectively was that this was some reference to the afterlife, that he was having this vision or this experience, so he was sharing this vision of what one possibility that he thought that the afterlife consisted of. It was a valiant effort, anyway. Later on through the years, of course, another co-founding member of the Eagles, Don Henley, has been asked, as you can imagine, has been asked this question many times. What is this? What does this mean? And the answer that he has given most often is that it has to do with it's a commentary on excessiveness, American excess, and overindulgence, and this kind of thing. It's his commentary on overindulging in different ways. So we missed the mark a little bit, I guess. That's okay. One of the lines that I think about a lot, I guess, is the very last lyric before the long guitar solo kicks in. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. The spirit behind this lyric, behind this line, is that, sure, you can try to distance yourself from what is going on. You can say, I'm not part of this, but really, when it's all said and done, you are. You still are a part of things. You are still in this culture. You are still a part of what is happening around you, even if you don't want to acknowledge it or to admit it. You can check out. You can never leave. I would imagine that this sort of sentiment, this line from Hotel California, could be applied to many different situations. It conveys, maybe on the one hand, a feeling of being trapped. Maybe there's a certain resignation to this line about not being able to truly leave something behind. But even in the best of circumstances, we might think about, you think about relationships, even treasured relationships. There come times where maybe you need to check out, just for a little bit. Maybe you need to just get out of each other's way, even for an afternoon. But you don't really leave. You think about, even in the best of circumstances at your job. Maybe you love your job, but when vacation rolls around, yeah, I'm checking out. Bye-bye. But then you come back, hopefully all is well. You could even apply this to the church. Times when maybe it's best to check out just for a little bit, to cool your heels, to get away from a conflict or a disagreement. Hopefully not leaving, but at least recognizing you need to check out for just a little while. I wonder if the Apostle Paul could have been an Eagles fan. Paul here in this passage is applying perhaps one of the better known metaphors for the church, for what it means to be a part of the Christian community. He likens what it means to be a part of this faith community as being like a body. A body has many members. A body has many members. And the way he starts this off, the way he even prefaces this passage, is he talks about how we are all first pulled together into this body through baptism. We have all been baptized into the body of Christ, and by virtue of that baptism, we are connected, perhaps even hopelessly so. It transcends, baptism transcends any and all differences. There is neither, in the body of Christ, there is neither Jew or Greek, slave or free, male and female. He also uses this formula in another letter, his letter to the Galatians. He says the same thing. Baptism connects us beyond all those other things. We are connected through something bigger than the differences that we can see or that we have placed on one another. So then he continues the metaphor. We are one body, but we have many members. And of course, not all of those members are the same. They don't all look the same. They don't all serve the same function. And there are a couple implications of this. He says things like the eye cannot say, well, because I'm not an ear, I'm not really a part of things. I'm not good enough. I'm not serving the right role. Or again, a hand cannot say, well, I'm not a foot, so I am not a part of things. I'm not serving the right role. I don't look like other parts of the body. And he says, no, that doesn't make you any less a part of the body. You have your own role to play. You have your own gifts to give. You may want to check out, but you're still a part of the body. You can never leave. And the inverse of this is also true. The flip side of this is also true. An eye cannot say to an ear, well, you can't be a part of things because you don't look like me, or you don't serve the same function as me. And so too, the head cannot say to the foot, well, you're not like me, so you have to leave. You can't be a part of the body. But nevertheless, they still have a role to play. They still have their own gifts to give. And Paul eventually culminates this metaphor by saying, if every part of the body was the same part, where would we be then? Where would the body as a whole be if we didn't have all of these different parts serving their own functions, sharing their own gifts with the rest of the body? And sometimes, Paul says, sometimes there are certain parts that require greater attention and greater care and greater protection. Those parts that are deemed inferior or less honorable actually were meant to honor more and to protect more. They're the ones that need greater care and attention at times. No part is greater than the rest. We all are a part of the same body. Check out anytime. Like you never leave. Spiritual writer Carl McColman, in one of his books, Befriending Silence, he uses this term and explains this term, saint maker. What is a saint maker? A saint maker, according to McColman, are those people in our lives that we don't get along with. Those people that kind of just, one of these. But nevertheless, we are connected to them. We can't get away from them, whether it's through family ties, whether it's because they are our co-workers and we see them every day. Whatever the specifics, we are bound to them somehow, even if we don't get along with them. They kind of drive us crazy a little bit. But they are our saint makers, McColman says, because as we have to deal with them on a regular basis, we learn things like patience and tolerance and how to deal with people who are different from us in different ways. And even we learn about love through our constant interaction with them. These are our saint makers. These are the people who help us learn and grow and become better people by virtue of our being in relationship with them. So there are two conclusions that McColman shares. First is that we should give thanks for our saint makers, the people who are saint makers to us. We should give thanks for them, for the role that they play in our lives. That's the first conclusion. The second conclusion is that all of us are somebody else's saint maker. We all drive someone else crazy. Someone else is learning to be a better person because they have to deal with us. We'll meet up later to figure out what that's all about. These are the two conclusions that McColman reaches, the saint makers in our lives. We give thanks and remember we're somebody else. We're making someone else a better person every day. Good job, everyone. And we, who have been called into Christian community, we who have been called together into the body of Christ, we are all wrapped up together as saint makers. Despite whatever differences we have. We look different, we believe different, we act different, we dress different, whatever the specifics are, whatever our particulars are, whatever makes us unique, whatever roles we have to play, whatever gifts and talents we have to share, we are nevertheless a part of this body together. No member better than another, but each with our roles to play. Our differences, our being united through our differences is what helps keep the body functioning. During this week of prayer for Christian unity, January 18th through the 25th, we're still barely in it. We take time to give thanks for all members of the body of Christ called together. All together saint makers. And choosing not to leave, choosing to maybe check out from time to time, but to nevertheless recognize our connection to one another. That's what helps keep the body healthy. Amen.